Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James, and it's time for another installment of my personal games. And this one, I'm fighting against my very strong young opponent and one of my strongest students, Yak. And well, gosh, here he is, Yak Attack. It's been very hard to play against him. It's always, especially a little bit hard whenever you play someone you like, in my opinion. And well, I definitely have a lot of love for my young student here, and I'm very excited about his future. He's already hit expert, and I'm really hoping that he'll be hitting master at some point soon. Well, up in this game, I'm trying to stave him off, so here we go. I went ahead and started with d4. I'm playing white in this game. He went knight f6, knight f3, g6. Here he likes to do a lot of fianchetto systems, just like his coach. Knight to c3, pawn to d5. Here, typically, I would have probably played like a London system, but yeah, I don't know. At last minute, I just decided to do this knight c3, this Jobava London. And here, well, he played the best move, which is pawn d5. I played bishop f4 for a London system Jobava line. Man, these are being very Jobava. Sorry, these have been very popular lately. So I was just like, let's try it out against him. He played bishop g7, and I played knight b5 here, which I was very happy about. And these ones, a lot of times the knight has to go to a6 to defend against the c7 pawn. And although the computer says this is about equal here, well, the knight is a bit marooned here, and it can be hard to get back into the game. And so definitely there's a lot more stronger moves to play against this line. And well, here already the win rate here for white is at 44%, which I can definitely believe. Here we played knight a6, and I went ahead and played a4, which is apparently not the best move for the computer standards. Here e3 is just the best move here, just continuing to develop here. And I remember in some of the old lines, there was a4 getting played for knight to a3 back, and it's controlling this b5 square. I guess it didn't work out too well for me for this one, but that's okay. a4 got played, castles here. I go ahead and play e3 now. Bishop to f5, and here I think Yak would have had a better chance by playing pawn to c6 here. And yeah, c6 kicks away the knight. My knight will probably go back to a3 here. And after queen b6, this b2 pawn is a little bit annoying to defend. Yeah, I'm not too sure how I even would have done this one. But, you know, he went ahead and played this other move, which was interesting, bishop f5. This is one of those moves that I can't say I'm too scared of. It's almost like a little artificial looking. I definitely think trying to build up c5 as soon as possible would have been best. And, well, moving the bishop out can do that. Maybe even bishop g4 would have been a move I would have found a little bit more annoying than this one. Here I played bishop e2, and he went ahead and played pawn c6 now. Knight back to a3. And rook c8. So he's trying to get that c5 move in as soon as possible. Against d4s, the faster you get c5 in, you're going to be equal, if not better. Again, I still think that this queen b6 move was a move that would have been very annoying to deal with. And here, computer agrees with me. I have to play something like queen c1 here. And this is a move I definitely don't want to play, because later on, when you get your rook to c8 and then play c5, there definitely will be tactics against this pawn, especially because I could play pawn c3 and knight b4 ideas. Knight, yeah, just things I don't want to deal with. The queen on c1 is definitely not placed well at all. So here bishop to f5 got played, bishop e2, c6, knight to a3, rook to c8, again preparing that c5 move. I went ahead and castled, knight c7, and yeah, here I think he definitely is just playing a little too fast here. I'm not sure what the plan of knight c7 is. I mean, yeah, the knight is not very well placed over there, but where is the knight heading toward? Here, for some reason, I thought I was going to e6 to help prepare c5 and get a free tempo on the bishop. But here he chooses even another path, which, again, I just did not like. I went ahead and played h3 here, just playing nice and simple. And he played the knight back to e8. I'm very happy to see this move. Here he's telling me he wants to play the knight to d6 and then go to e4. And, yeah, I'm not too worried about this because, you know, after, let's see how many moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves to get to this e4 square. I'm just going to play pawn to f3 and kick it away. Well, so here I decided to make sure that the e4 square was taken care of. Knight e5 I played, knight to d6, and then I went ahead and played pawn c4 here. My pieces are definitely saying let's go queenside, so let's try to advance over there. c4, maybe even ideas about playing c5 in this position here too. He went ahead and played d takes c4, and I believe this was not the best move here. Here I was more afraid of pawn to c5 here. Although it looks a little bit risky, I think his pieces are well placed to actually allow this to happen. Obviously, I don't want to go c takes d5, knight takes d5 because, well, this little guy over here. And I could take and takes here, but, you know, I've lost my full center here. And, yeah, black's actually looking pretty good now. The other move to look at was, of course, d takes c5. And again, after rook takes c5 here, I still can't take over here. I had planned to play b4 here, but you do have to be very careful as this diagonals open up over here. I guess maybe rook c8, and then I can play c takes d5 was the main plan, although looking at it now, it looks a bit scary. I might just end up playing pawn c5 here and keeping things conservative. Just another way to play here. I mean, the game, he really just helped let me kind of take over the center here, though. I played knight takes c4 back. He played knight d5. That's okay. Bishop back to h2. Knight takes c4 and bishop takes c4. Here, he's made some trades, but he never got his c5 move in. And, well, yeah, I just have a really good center here, and I have the bishop pair, so I'm very happy. Knight b6, bishop back to a2, bishop b4. I don't want to allow c5, so rook to c1, bishop d5. An interesting move here. I wasn't sure if this was his strategy just to try and make trades, but yeah, again, it hasn't become so apparent of what Black's plan is at this point. And so I'm just slowly trying to get a better position and try not to make trades here as well. They can definitely help out your opponent. But that being said, the computer is saying, hey, Jesse, play bishop takes d5 here. I didn't like this because of c takes d5, but apparently after rook takes, queen takes, knight to d3. And this is pretty interesting. You can see how the knight's going to look great on the c5 square, maybe a5, and, well, they don't have the c4 square because b3 is going to be coming up in the future. It gives us a +1 advantage. I can't say I like this position too much. A few more trades and this could be bad for me. So I went ahead and just played bishop b1, knight d7. I don't want to trade. Pawn to e4 got played instead. And here, he played bishop back to e6. If he had played knight takes e5 here, I had planned e takes d5. And when the knight moves away, let's say to d7, here I might have my first weakness, d takes on c6, and you'll have a isolated pawn over here. All right. So in the game, he went ahead and just played bishop back to e6, and here I'm getting more and more confident in my position. I'm able to start pushing him back. Again, I don't want trades. I played knight to f3, knight to f6, and here, again, I'm just loving these center pawns. I'm going to start pushing them, hopefully, down his throat. Knight g5 got played, a nice little tempo against his bishop. The bishop went back to d7, and then I played queen d2. My previous plan was to play pawn to f4 here, but I didn't like the idea of queen b6. It has a nice idea of attacking the d4 pawn and b2, and maybe even some ideas later on with rook fd8, bishop can attack. This move queen d2 was designed to stop queen b6, as I can just play pawn e5 and kick him back. Well, here he didn't want to give me any kind of counterplay. Played pawn h6, knight back to f3, and then bishop back to e6. Again, he's really playing very solid here, but he's not pushing me back. So if he keeps doing this, he's only allowing me to keep pressing forward here. As you can see, I do have a nice little time advantage too. Oh, you can't see it, but I have about 1 hour on my clock, and he has about 48 minutes. This is a game 90 with 5-second delay. Bishop f4, a nice little tempo, and trying to bring my pieces back into life, attacking the h6 pawn. King h7, of course, and then pawn h4. To start to, not the most accurate plan here. My plan in the future was to play something like e5 and then eventually h5 here. Yak definitely knows how I play. He knows I like to attack, so he was able to stop the ideas. And you can see he's very reactionary right now. I'm hoping in the future he's going to be a little bit more aggressive with his plans and have a little bit more thought to them. Knight h5, bishop e3. Again, he saw that I wanted to play h5, so he goes ahead and tries to stop it right away. Again, I have such a beautiful center here. I'm just going to keep pushing and prodding at him. Queen to d6 here. Here I saw a nice tempo. Rook c5 threatening to win some material. And here he stops it with queen to d7. Again, if you're not paying attention, you can get to a bad position. Pawn b6. All right, white to move. What do you play here to win some material? All right, hopefully you found it. Here the idea was rook takes h5, g takes h5, and then e5 check, winning the queen. And this is actually a very strong idea that I'm going to keep playing with. You know, I saw a strong grandmaster, Gigi Delavici, play once, and it was so cool to see. He had one tactic in the position, and he just kept adding and adding to it, and it became stronger and stronger. This is the same thing that I'm going to be doing in my position. These rook takes h5 ideas is something I'm going to keep playing with. Here he played, here I went ahead and played 95. Yeah, here I was really struggling what to play here. I was really thinking about playing queen to c2 here with rook takes h5 ideas. And computer says it's okay, but under correct defense here for black, I think you should be okay. So I went ahead and just kept building my position, and then instead played knight to e5. Of course, if he takes, rook takes, I wanted to make sure my rook wasn't going to be trapped. But here it's just nice and safe here. Let's say f6 gets played. The rook can just run back to c5 and can even run back here. And you can see that these squares are becoming weak. Bishop takes h6 is the threat. Yeah, here I'd be very happy with my position. So he has to move his queen back, and the queen went to c7. All right, let's keep building up the position. What do I play? Here I went ahead and played pawn f4. f5 is my idea, and I am at a +2 advantage. With that being said, I haven't seen any good ways to win material just yet. Here we played rook c to d8, a good move. And, well, here f5 is not the move I want to play here. Let's see, can you guys see what happens if f5 right here? What can black play here to, well, put me to a less advantage? You got to be careful, especially when your opponent's as smart as my young friend over here. Bishop takes e5, rook takes on e5, and queen takes e5, d takes e5, rook takes e5, and bishop takes. And again, this is a plus position, but this is not the position I am looking for, right? It's like Obi-Wan over here. I want something a little bit more aggressive, and although this is still a good position here, there is still chances for him to fight back. So, instead of going ahead with f5 right away, I don't allow the queen trade here. I want to try and destroy him in the middle game. I played queen to f2. I almost played this move queen to d3, but I saw a really nice tactic here that I was afraid of, which was knight g3, forking the rook and the pawn. And you're like, okay, can't you just play rook f3 here? You can, but now the beautiful tactic, knight takes e4, queen takes bishop f5, and, well, now I'm looking a little bit embarrassed here, as a master should never get his queen trapped over here. All right, so back to the game. Queen f2 got played, and he plays f5 here. He knows what I want to play. He's doing a very good job. He understands what I want. Unfortunately, he's not problem-solving the correct way here. And, well, he went ahead and played f5 here. Here I found a nice combination to add to the attack. Here I get a +2 advantage. With that being said, I am not happy with the way I carried through with the attack, but I am happy that I did see at least the combination of it. All right, push pause. Can you see how white can try to break through with the attack here? All right, hopefully you found it. Knight takes g6, king takes g6, and here I did not follow up the best way. I went ahead and played e takes f5 check, which was the combination I was looking at. Here computer says, Jesse, here you just play queen f3 attacking the knight. And, well, the knight really has nowhere good to move to. If you jump back knight f6, well, now I'm very happy. E takes f5 check, and I'm going to win this light square bishop and have a very strong attack in the game. I'm also threatening just a simple queen g4 check here to win the knight again. So here, yeah, it's really hard to say, like, where does the king go? I guess the king can go to h7. But again, you have this e takes f5 move, or even queen takes h5 here. I got a little too impatient, and I went ahead and played e takes f5 here. Bishop takes, rook takes, and then g4. Again, I am at a +1 advantage, but it's not so easy for me to convert the win. Although the king is unsafe, I definitely think I could have played this better. And here, Yak defends very well. He plays pawn e6. And I played pawn takes. Pawn takes. I mean, looking at my pawn structure, afterwards I was like, man, I hope this attack works, because if this doesn't work, this endgame's not going to be any saving for me. One of the good things, though, is I do have the bishop pair, so I was able to keep adding pressure. Queen, I looked at queen g2 check, which is what I should have played, but instead I played king h1, and this brings the game to an even position if Yak plays correctly. But of course, you know, in these kind of positions, it's really hard to play so solid. I mean, at this point, wow, it's like equal position with best moves, but at the highest advantage I have now is like 0.5 or 0.6. All right, it's time to make some magic. Here we go. Queen d6 was played. Not the best move here. It's giving queen to f7, guarding the light squares. As you're going to see here, I'm able to create a very strong attack now. All right, queen d6, rook g1 check, king to f7. And one of the ideas I liked about this queen d6 move, again, a very practical move here, was to play the queen to d5 check. Also, if I try to play queen g2, which was my plan, queen d5 yet again gets played, and it's just a move that I'm not happy with. I don't want to trade queens. This endgame is not what I'm looking for. Well, here I have to play bishop a2 check, and actually the bishop is very well placed on this long diagonal over here, and it takes away the d5 square. I saw that he'd play king f8, because, well, everything else was going to be a little bit worse. Of course, you don't want to go to the E file over here, as let's just say king to E8 gets played. Well, now I have this nice little move, queen E2, for a double attacking idea. I have D5 with the bishop discoveries, or just queen takes the knight over here, and of course, my rook's attacking the bishop. Here it's a +7 position. So here the only other square was to play king F8. All right, another breakthrough move. What do you play? Remember, bishops like open positions, so pawn D5 got played. Don't fall for the trick here. Here the idea of D5 is not to just try and make some trades here, but the idea was bishop C5. He defends with the best move and only move that is counterattacking. Pawn to B6. And here again, I sat for a little while. I had about 22 minutes. He has 20 minutes. Things are about even. I went ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to try to win this pawn. I played queen F3 to attack the knight, and also the pawn here on D5. He played knight to F6, D takes C6, and then here he plays a move that just gives me a nice advantage. Here he plays knight E4. Now it's +7. This was the losing move of the game here. Here, if he wants to keep the game going, apparently rook C8 is one of the best tries here. The move I was afraid of was this move knight to G4, which I wasn't really too sure how I was going to proceed after knight G4 here. There's some pinning ideas, and I think I was looking at rook to C1 here, although it looks like rook C1. Is this just losing? Yeah, I guess it allows bishop takes B2, and then the rook has to move anyway. So here I definitely would have to find a different solution to this position, which does look pretty difficult to me right now. But here, like I said, unfortunately for him, he played the losing move, knight to E4, and now, I sat at this position for quite a while. I had 17 minutes on the clock. I was getting a little bit worried. White to move and win. What do you play here? What's the strongest move here for white? It's almost so easy, it's tricky. What's the move here? I sat here for a while, and then I finally said, oh, I could just play queen to H5. And again, those light squares are the weaknesses. Here I had calculated all the ways to defend, and there's no good way to defend. I'm also threatening queen takes F5 check over here. For instance, if queen E7, you just simply take on F5 check, knight back to F6, and there's lots of winning moves here to play. I think the simplest is just rook E1 here with this position, with C7 ideas to come in the future too. What else can you try to play in this position? Oh yeah, queen F6, which I already had calculated. Here you can play rook to G6. And, well, at this point, well, that's crazy. Computer's giving queen takes C6 here. Very beautiful move. Here, you cannot take back right away because of knight to G3 check. Although, again, white is still in a better position. But here I had calculated that, well, the queen has nowhere good to go. If you try to go to F7, well, bishop just takes. So where does the queen move? I guess back to E7. And now, again, you have the C7 idea. Although, again, I was planning on playing queen takes F5 check here right away. Yep, at this point, there was no good way to respond to queen H5 here. Computer's just giving queen E7. And unfortunately for Yak, I guess he just missed the move, or maybe he was in his own way resigning. He just went ahead and played queen takes on C6. And then I just went ahead and delivered checkmate with queen F7. Again, I'm very happy and I'm very proud of my young student. I think he's going to be going up in the rankings pretty high pretty soon. So I'll look forward to playing you in the next game, Yak, okay? All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the game. We'll see you in the next one.